Welcome. I am Collins Trott Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about social emotional development of school-aged children. A whole new social experience begins in middle childhood, and children make many new adjustments. During the school-age years, children have to strive to become competent members of society. The schools prepare children to become independent and productive citizens. Similarly, parents often give their school-age children chores that help with responsibility and work ethic. Children's learning of gender roles is influenced by parents, peers, and the school environment, as well as media. Moral development that begins in the preschool years continues in the school-age years. By the end of the school years, children establish a moral conscience and their self-concepts and are well developed. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about social emotional development of school-aged children. In many ways, social development becomes the most important aspect of development in middle childhood. While parents are still vital in providing security and helping children become more independent, children's peer groups grow in importance. Relationships with peers affect all aspects of development, and school-agers often compare themselves with their peers. As school-age children interact more with other adults and children, they must learn new ways to express their emotions, which are closely connected to their personalities. Because of their increased interactions with others, they often experience more stress during the school-age years than they had in the past. School-age children make great strides in social emotional development and achieve a number of developmental milestones. During middle childhood, children show greater awareness of their responsibilities and roles in society. They try to learn what is expected of them, and their self-concepts often depend on their sense of achievement and the acknowledgement of others. School-age children's self-awareness grows as they show responsibility, learn gender roles, establish a moral conscience, and expand their self-concepts. School-age children's moral development is influenced by authority figures and peers. Helping children establish a moral conscience becomes the responsibility of all social institutions and groups entrusted with raising children. Some examples of these groups include families, schools, youth organizations, and religious groups. The family, however, still has a central role in children's moral development during the school years. Moral development continues to affect school-age children's moral judgment and reasoning, moral character, and moral emotions. School-age children begin to feel more like members of society. They want to excel alongside their peers and tend to fear rejection or incompetence. They are in the fourth stage of Erikson's personality development, called industry versus inferiority. In this stage, it involves a struggle between children's industry, which is a desire to join others in striving to become a competent member of society, and inferiority, or the feeling of incompetence and low value as a member of society. During the school-age years, children learn a lifelong attitude about work. School-age children with a sense of industry see work as a route to learning new ideas and skills and to performing in worthwhile ways. They also see work as a way to win approval from parents and caregivers, teachers, and peers. School-age children enjoy doing activities with and for others and enjoy learning and practicing cooperation as they interact in their expanding and changing social worlds. School-age children's social relationships grow and become more complex than earlier relationships. School-age children's social relationships are often determined by whether they have the skills needed for playing sports and games with peers. Through their school activities, school-age children make daily judgments of their own learning compared with those of their peers. They learn that developing friendships can be difficult and find that mastering the skills needed to fit into society can be stressful. By the time children enter school, they have fairly well established patterns of emotional behavior. Personality traits continue to emerge and stabilize. The emotions felt by school-age children affect their behaviors, which in turn influence their personalities. As school-age children interact with more adults and other children, they are expected to express their emotions in new, socially acceptable ways. School-age children learn to express emotions such as love, fear and anxiety, and anger and aggression. As the school-age child's world expands with relationships and responsibilities, stress can originate from new sources. Some new sources of stress come from home life, school life, peer relations, and internal stress. Adults need to be aware of warning signs of stress-related problems, as school-age children often communicate less with adults because they want to be independent. Although the peer group becomes an important part of school-age children's social lives, adults still play a significant role in meeting school-age children's social and emotional needs. As children's self-awareness expands, adults can encourage children's successes, support them through their failures, and appreciate them as unique children. Parents can serve as the physical and psychological home base for providing time for friendships. Parents should also realize that school-age children have mood swings and emotional difficulties from time to time, which are normal. Lack of emotional control, however, often signals the need for professional help. By the school-age years, children are very self-aware. Their self-awareness is influenced by how they believe others think of them. Because of their self-concepts are fragile, they need support and encouragement. Adults can promote their children's self-awareness by giving children responsibility, guiding their gender roles, instilling morality, and building a healthy self-concept. In middle childhood, children develop a sense of industry, which begins to prepare them for adult work. To help children develop positive feelings about work, adults can lead children to focus on their abilities rather than their faults. Adults should set reasonable standards. When standards are too high, children feel they cannot reach them and will not try. If standards are set too low, children may not work at their potential. Even small successes help children feel positive about their work, which increases their self-esteem. Adults can also help children be industrious by encouraging them to succeed in school. Children do better in school when they have loving, caring adults who want them to do well than when they have adults who show no to little concern. Parents and caregivers can support school-age children's relationships by making time for friendships, expanding children's horizons, guiding and modeling behaviors, and managing conflicts. During the school-age years, children continue to work on self-regulation. Some ways adults continue to guide children's emotions during the school-age years are to model emotional control, normalizing emotions, respecting others, using loving discipline, suggesting indirect outlets, and teaching coping skills. Parents and teachers can work together to try and prevent chronic stress in school-age children. One way to do this is by watching for signs of stress and listening for signs of stress. At home, parents and caregivers can reduce stress by giving children constant love and support, providing a stable home environment, and monitoring sleep and eating habits. Parents can let children know they can help them with their problems through open communication and possible suggestions. If stress seems to overwhelm the child, working with a licensed mental health professional may be necessary. Now let's review what we've learned. School-age children's self-awareness expands as they take on and show new responsibilities. Children also learn more about gender roles and begin to establish a more conscience during school-age years. Their self-concepts are affected by comparison with other peers. School-age children are in Erikson's fourth stage of personality development, called industry versus inferiority. School-age children learn to be industrious both in schoolwork and home responsibilities. They struggle, however, with feelings of inferiority. During the school-age years, children enter a goal-corrected partnership with their caregivers. Peer and friends, however, become much more important in children's lives as compared with their importance during the preschool years. School-age children are learning to control their emotions and express love, fear, anxiety, anger, aggression, and jealousy in socially acceptable ways. As school-age children adjust to their new responsibilities and relationships, adults should watch for signs of stress. In meeting school-age children's social emotional needs, caregivers can plan activities to encourage self-awareness. They can give children responsibilities such as chores. They can instill morality and help children build a healthy self-concept. Caregivers should encourage their children to be industrious and try to reduce feelings of inferiority. In guiding school children's social relationships, parents and other adults can make time for children's friendships, expand children's horizons, guide and model important behaviors, and help manage conflicts. For the most part, school-age children are able to regulate their emotions. However, adults can guide school-age children's emotions through modeling and providing outlets for the control of emotions. Finally, if adults notice stress in school-age children, they should take steps to help children cope. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learned all about social emotional development of school-age children. See you next time.